Hello there, it's me and welcome to my world. It is let's see, it's the 28th of May, Tuesday, uh, journal number 62, which means that it's T plus 56 days. 44 remaining till 100, and we get to see what happens then. Numbers are inching up slowly. Um, and lower intestinal tract infection is I think beginning to respond to the medication. It's really heavy duty stuff, so it should be. Hopefully it is. Otherwise, it's another regimen of double the number of days. But today was a relatively good day at the clinic uh, as far as everything was concerned, except that we wound up leaving before I had my PICC line dressing changed, and actually had to go back to do that, which wasn't so terrible because I wound up having lunch with someone who's become quite a good friend. Brett Modesti, I've spoken about him often. He's in charge of mission for Team in Training, which is a group that does a lot of really incredible work for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and they deserve a call out. They were instrumental in providing blood and platelets for me, as well as many of you. Um, and that helped me a lot and will in the future, because I'm sure that there'll be another time when I'll need transfusions and of both platelets and whole blood. And they helped a lot of other people, as I'm sure some of you have as well. And that's important. I think I wound up having lunch with Brett, which was really nice because we got to talk about a lot of things that we share in common, but from different perspectives. It's interesting where I'm the patient here and the one recovering from the transplant, stem cell bone marrow transplant. His wife is the one recovering, and he's the caregiver. So I really enjoy our conversations because they give me a really strong insight into what Leslie's dealing with all the time, and I think that's important. There's a sensitivity that needs to be present there to the sacrifice someone else is making in your behalf, and in the case of a loved one, in the case of a partner or a son or a daughter or granddaughter or grandson, um, that sacrifice can be significant. I mean, because it's not easy. Um, Take that and add to the dynamic there the fact that in my case, this is going to be a year of recovery, at least, in different stages with different mile markers, um, with 100 of those days spent in really close quarters, um, away from home. Um, and I think that kind of sacrifice deserves, the recognition and appreciation it should. Um, and it tests you if you're sensitive enough. It tests you because you start to wonder, you know, you'd like to believe that if you were called upon, um, you would rise to the challenge and you would deliver the kind of care that whoever it is you're dealing with deserves and requires in order to get well. Um, And there's, I mean, if you think about that statement, there's a lot there. I mean, there's really a lot there. Uh, Complicate that with Leslie winding up, going down with an L5S1 bulge in a disc that's made her life miserable over the last 2 weeks, at least, maybe more. And things start to get um, a little crazy. Tomorrow morning, we're getting up at dark 30 in the morning. God only knows what time she's going to get up. She has to take a shower before we go there for the epidural, and we have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's across Duarte, Monrovia, and it's in Arcadia, right by the racetrack, Santa Anita Park, and that's going to be tomorrow morning. Uh, it's it's important. It's important in the middle of all of this because of the stresses involved, the stressors involved. Not only in me having an opportunity to reciprocate and help take care of her, um, but also, the normal kinds of anxiety that you go through when you have a clinic day and you get your blood work back, and no matter how good it's going to be, it's easy to be a little bit disappointed in the fact that it's not better. I mean, my hemoglobin was the best it's been in a long time, probably due in part to the last transfusion I got, but it's hard to tell how much. I guess my doctor has a better idea. My platelet count actually went up, and it appears to have gone up by itself, which is a good thing because it means somewhere, somehow, my body's manufacturing platelets. My white blood cell count, on the other hand, is still below uh, where it could be or should be, but not low enough so that they were willing to give me a Neupogen shot, which helps increase white blood cell production. Um, but all in all, I'm where I'm supposed to be, according to the doctors, which is exciting. I mean, because as I said before, it's like 46 days to the 100. Um, and each time the sun makes itself known in the east, we get one day closer, and that's always exciting. Um, but today, as long as I had to go back to the City of Hope to get the dressing changed on the PICC line, they were having an art class. This was I mean, it was interesting. I mean, everything they do there is really fascinating. Most of it's geared, um, they don't make a big deal out of it, but most of it's geared to help take your mind off your recovery. Um, Most of it's geared to help calm you in some way, or help you focus on other things other than hospital visits and doctor's visits and drawing blood and waiting for results and whatnot. So the art class was a scribble art class. It's a process class. I'm talking about this like I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I really don't. Um, and the instructor, who's been teaching there for like 12 years, I think she said, um, you start out by scribbling on a piece of paper, blindfolded, or not blindfolded, with your eyes closed. And then you take whatever you scribbled and you make something out of it. And for the first three parts of the project, they're they're contiguous lines. You don't lift your pen off the paper, and then you're able to do whatever you want. And I guess it's to see what you see in the drawing that no one else would see. It's unique to you. The fourth one we did, which was interesting, was, well, I didn't follow directions. I didn't hear the part about, I didn't realize that that was supposed to be with the pen on the paper. And I wound up doing this. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Anyway, I'm not an artist, so I'm pretty proud of the fact that it came out as good as it did. And I titled it Somewhere to Be. You know, there are parts of the mountains here, San Gabriel Mountains, that are are beautiful and peaceful and restful. I was very fortunate in that the view from my room when I was an inpatient um, helped me focus on that and how beautiful it is. Um, More later on, I'd like to talk to you about the conversation I had with Brett at lunch because I think it's important. But I've run out of time for tonight, so perhaps tomorrow night or the night after, we can talk about that some more. Um, but it has to do with passion and calling and what you're called to do. Um, Till then, stay well, take care, and we'll hang out together tomorrow. Bye bye.